Hello, hello, and welcome everybody to another live here on Haunted the Truth. Hopefully everything is working, all my audios are working and everything and whatnot. Last time I came on here, it bloody didn't work, did it? I was muted for about a third of it. Let's do the participants first and foremost. So we've got Laura, so aka Rawside Paranormal. We've got Amory, Maltor, Dave, Pinky, welcome in. Pomp, welcome in. Oh, you've been here for a while, Pomp, welcome in. And Steve England, welcome in. It is live. Is this Stevie England, should I say? Is this Stevie England the same as Steve England as in Stoke Park? If it is, then welcome in. I didn't think you watched my stuff, but I appreciate it. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a different one this evening. I'm going to be not just live on my own, but if you were watching the live the other week, you remember I was talking about experiences and places and stuff, and I put it out to the chat, and a certain somebody popped up and said they would like to join me. So I'm going to introduce now. I don't know if you're going to use your real name or if you're going to use your channel name, but it's Beyond the Realm Paranormal. Welcome in. How are you?
Hi mate, yeah, I'm alright. How are you?
I'm doing dandy. So how would you like to be referred?
Just go by Nick, mate. Nick is fine.
Yeah, Nick's fine. Cool. I know some people they like a incognito, so I didn't know if you were an incognito type or not. You never know.
No.
So we've got a few more people coming in. Welcome in, Tia. Obviously, we're going to be talking and discussing like experiences and stuff like that. But sometimes I might go over to the chat and just say hello and answer questions or anybody that's talking as and when. So don't feel like, if I randomly interrupt you, it's because I'm answering somebody on YouTube. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
So tell us a little bit, about yourself. It says on your channel here that you are a small, genuine grassroots paranormal group based in Staffordshire, raw, real, and uncut. Which I did have a little look at some of your stuff when I mentioned with your editing and that, and it's to the point. It very much like my lives, but as videos, if that makes sense. Is there anything more you want to add to that?
That's right. Yeah, we've always been like just raw, real, and uncut. So if we're on an investigation and someone falls over, I don't know, ass first, it's going on the episode.
Yeah.
There's no like major editing to what we put up, because for me, I think I've seen it in the past where people get accused for heavily editing their footage because you don't know if things are being faked and XYZ. So what we record goes up a couple of days later normally.
Yeah.
We used to do lives on Facebook and that, but we had a lot of bizarre activity every time we went live on Facebook, with people showing up to the locations, even though we didn't tell them where we were.
So sort of like kind of like stream sniping in a sense.
It was quite creepy actually, because they wouldn't actually approach, but they'd like, I don't know, they'd stalk us in a car and stuff. So we just stopped the live streams and just focused on episodes. It was weird.
Very bizarre, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's worth not exactly saying where you are, or just name somewhere where you just aren't, and then they all rock up to the wrong place. I think that's funnier. That'd definitely be funnier.
Yeah, that's it.
Welcome in,
There's some weirdos out there as well.
Yeah, that's just a given, isn't it? So what got you into like, well, first and foremost, are you skeptical? Are you open skeptical? Or are you a believer?
No, I'm a firm believer.
You're a firm believer. And what got you into that? Were you always a firm believer, or is that something that's developed over time?
I think, to be honest with you, I think it all stemmed from stories that I heard about me nan and granddad's house. So there was a lot of stuff that went on there when my mum and my uncle were young growing up. So I took an interest from there, to be honest with you. The weirdest one, I think this will probably interest people in the chat, that there was, so like them old gas fires, how they've got they're like white grates inside that heat up and then they're held in by the metal casing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So it's
They're like
the grates were held in by the metal casing.
Yeah, so on the old gas fires, sometimes you'd have like
I had to
the
go back in
white
time
grates
then.
that keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They came downstairs one morning, and bear in mind, my nan was a believer, my granddad wasn't. My mum is, and my uncle at the time was skeptical, but they came downstairs one morning, and the 3 white grates inside the fireplace were in the middle of the carpet, and it had burnt all of the carpet away.
Yeah,
but
and they're quite heavy to move as well.
Exactly, and the metal casing that, you know, is there to protect the grates and stuff, they were still attached. So it is a complete mystery.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's people here as well that have had similar things like that. I mean, not everybody does have things as big as that. I've a lot of the times, you know, when items move and stuff like that, sometimes people don't even realize it. But I think something like a grate, you're not going to miss that, are you? Especially if it's burning the carpet.
Yeah.
But was this place like particularly haunted, or did it have like a story?
There was a lot of stuff that happened. There was one. I mean, I don't know about this one, like for an explanation, but there was one morning they were all sat in the living room. It was way before I was born,
Mm-hmm.
and they said it felt like the house was shaking.
Okay.
So they went outside. Obviously, you'd think it would be an earth tremor or something. And they went outside and everything was still. I mean, it could have been an earth tremor, and by the time they got outside, it had stopped.
Yeah, of course.
My mum was absolutely convinced that there was something about that house that just wasn't normal. But it was rumoured to be buried on top of an old graveyard.
So it sounds like something like the movie Poltergeist, when it's built on top of the graveyard, and then like all that stuff happens. I think with me, I just become because I'm open skeptic, gone from being completely skeptic to open skeptic, but not fully into the believer realm yet. I'm very pedantic with things. So if I see something happen, and this isn't me taking away from your belief of you wanting to believe that it's a ghost sort of concept, but I always say, yes, I've seen crazy things happen, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a ghost that done it, because I haven't seen the thing that did it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So I need it to like be, it's like black and white basically. It needs to be on point, and I need to physically see, like, you know, a ghostly figure ripping the thingy off the fireplace. To which point I'd probably leg it, to be fair. Welcome in, Snape. Good to see you.
I think I'd be out as well.
So that's
if you want to see something really, what I'd say is hands-on evidence, on our channel on the videos,
yeah,
I think it's called Nuke's Top 5 Reaction.
right.
It's when we made it onto Nuke's Top 5.
Okay.
And something happened to me in Alton Village, where Alton Towers is. We were investigating the old train station.
Okay.
And it involves just a weird white mist that I didn't see with my own eyes at the time, but at the time it happened, I felt something push me, but I didn't see anything, and Nadine had to stop filming. And yeah, the video's on there if you want to check it out.
Yeah, I can see it. See it here. Is it you reacting to the, or is it literally is it the whole video, or is it? Okay. Yeah.
No.
It's just YouTubers reacting. That's what we decided to use, because I think even they were.
Yeah, I can bring this up for people to see if you didn't mind.
Yeah.
I'll just bring it into the thing
that we can't get our head around. It's just absolutely bizarre.
There's definitely a lot more going on than what we realised. That's for sure. I know that for sure. It's more a case of what is it that could be doing these things rather than, oh, is it playing up? That's weird. Normally I press that button and it comes on straight away. We got the gremlins again, people. Welcome in, Martin. Good to see you. Welcome in, Ariel. Good to see you. Whilst I do this, keep telling stories.
I'm trying to think of
display capture. Why is it doing weird?
I think we've investigated that area though hundreds of times.
Okay.
Paranormal investigators beyond the realm paranormal investigate the Alton Railway Station in Staffordshire, England. The old train station was built in 1849 and it was eventually closed down in 1965. So, after over 100 years of travelers and workers passing through the station, it is now believed to be extremely haunted by the ghosts of deceased passengers and railway workers. The 5 investigators set up motion detectors on the platform close to what used to be the railway track. They start recording, and what they capture is truly bizarre.
So that's just Nick setting off the motion detector. It only goes off when something walks in front of it. There you go. Straight after it's followed you.
Let me do it one more time for you. I want you to follow me exactly where I come from. Milton Bridge Hotel. Remember?
We need to do that. No!
When lead investigator Nick walks back and forth setting off the motion detector, something seems to follow him. Then suddenly a super fast moving white mist seems to pass right through him, knocking him a step back.
We need to do that. No!
What's especially creepy is that Nick seems to both see and react to the mist as it passes right through his body. So did they capture real evidence of the paranormal? Could it be the ghost of a wary traveler still running to catch a long-departed train? You decide. Check out this full video and more paranormal investigations over on their Facebook and YouTube channel, Beyond the Realm Paranormal. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm assuming, is that all of it? I'm assuming and then
Yeah, there's some reactions, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist
that's
of
the
it.
main bit is that
to the mist.
That mist there. Let's put that in slow motion. First and foremost, what do you guys think in the chat? Like, what is this? Welcome in, CB and Ariel. Yes, we're just discussing experiences at the moment. Welcome in, Tammy. The live today is just about chatting here about the experiences and who basically, well, what Beyond the Realm Paranormal official YouTube channel is all about. And different stories and experiences. I'm just going to put this in slow motion so we can do that again. Okay, yeah, that's... So you didn't inherently see this then? Or you did see it?
No. I just felt what felt like somebody pushed me on my shoulder, and that's why on the video you kind of see me go back a little bit, and Nadine had to stop filming to show me what she'd caught.
Yeah.
And just honestly, in the comments before anyone says it wasn't a pigeon, it wasn't an owl, because we've had all sorts of people saying it was just a pigeon flying at you. I mean, pigeons do not fly through the middle of your chest.
Well, the easiest go-to would be... Like if you were to try and I wouldn't say pigeon or anything like that. I would just go with, well, it was just like a bit of breath that went past. But the fact that you move perfectly in line with when it happens, that's what makes it strange.
The weirdest thing for me is, because I will be rational and I will try and rule things out, I physically felt something push me on the top of my chest, like towards my right shoulder. I'll never forget that feeling something actually physically touched me, and that's when I kind of stumbled a bit. I thought, "What the hell was that?"
That's so weird. I've only ever had that once, but there was nothing Well, actually, I don't know, to be fair, because I didn't have another camera filming. But I've been pushed once. So I definitely believe that that's a possibility. I don't know if anybody here in the chat has ever been pushed or had some sort of feeling of something touching you and some sort of like tapping you on the back or something like that when investigating. But I know that's definitely a thing. And the fact that you've got this mist happening right before, yeah, people are going to say this and that. People are going to say it could be breath or condensation. Was it cold that day?
You know what? I think it might have been around springtime. Don't quote me, but another thing I'm going to point out is I am going to have to find the original clip that didn't feature on Nukes, because as it comes into shot and flies past the camera, you can almost hear a very, very faint swoosh, like a as it comes across the screen, and that was another thing that
actually
really
makes the noise as well, as if there's a physical thing whooshing past. Yeah, okay, that's definitely weird then. 100%, that's weird.
I will have to find it and send it you over, because it still to this day it's absolutely baffled us.
That is very and you have like that in the raw footage and everything.
It's somewhere. I will find it out and get it you sent over.
Yeah, that I don't have. I don't even know what to say to that. That's it's one of those sort of things where you're left with just not knowing, and I've got a few myself. By the way, if anybody here in the chat does have any questions about experiences and stuff like that, feel free to throw them out there. We're not just having a general chit chat to ourselves. Anybody can join in and leave a comment in the chat. So feel free to do that at any point. I thought my skeleton was moving behind me then. It's just, I think it's where I was moving on my chair. That freaked me out slightly for a second. So,
it depends where you're sitting with your Freddy Krueger mask.
Yeah, Freddy's in the back there, yeah. So I'm from Bristol, and you said you were from, what was it?
Stoke-on-Trent, yeah.
Stoke-on-Trent, yeah. So up that way. Up that way. Everything's north from me.
Everything's north. Where is Bristol? Is that towards
southwest?
Southwest, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm literally next to the bridge that takes you over to Wales. It's the best way to put it.
Yeah, I know where you mean.
So Amory's saying, where's the scariest place that you've been?
Oh, me?
Yeah. I've said my story many a times, so
you know what? I think I'm going to have to say a place in Derbyshire called Narrowdale Farm.
Why?
In a place, in a little tiny village called Ulston Fields. And it's in the middle of nowhere. We found it by luck. It was a private road, so we were doing a bit of googling on it, and we saw this Narrowdale Farm. Yeah. And it was 2 farmhouses that have been derelict since, I can't remember, for a long, long time. And we ended up driving down this private road, opening gates on the way, and we found these 2 farmhouses, and they sit in the middle of like a valley on their own, so nobody would hear you scream.
Right.
And there was a hole in the front door, probably just big enough for you to get through without getting on your hands and knees. And there was about 5 of us, I think. And we decided this one night to plan it and go and investigate it. And as soon as you went in, it for some reason it just had Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes. The farmhouse did. It was just.
Oh really?
Yeah, just something like you'd see off the film, and it was just eerie. It was extremely silent because there's no like cities about, no towns. You're in the deep in the middle of the countryside, and there was so much banging and thudding going on upstairs, and I don't mean like knocks or taps. it was almost as if something was throwing furniture around.
Yeah. Almost like a
and there was
poltergeist activity type thing.
Yeah, there was this one particular moment where the bang was that intense that we all scrambled to get out the front door through this gap in the front door. So, thinking back now, I think it was the right move because, like, I don't know. It just had a feeling like no other place that we've ever been. I mean, unfortunately, now someone has brought it and they're doing it all up. But
okay, so you can't just go back there to see. Well, it'd be interesting to know if, like, the people that have bought it to, like, knock on the door and say, like, oh, are you getting anything going on? Like, is there anything happening here? I'd find that really interesting. Like, once, I mean, it is a difficult one because people might just look at you and just be like, what are you on about, you nutter? That sort of thing, you know what I mean? ADMW if you do want to ask any questions, and go ahead, feel free. If it's something I've never heard before, I can answer it as well. So we could both potentially answer the question.
Can I just ask you something? Where is your scariest place? Because I don't think I'm aware.
Oh, now that is a question. So I think, like, that you could easily go to, it's gonna be like Snuff Mills, Halfpenny Bridge. It's at a point. I'm only saying this because I have been to places which have scared me equally as well, but there's only a few places where I feel physically uncomfortable about doing it on my own. And I've been doing a lot of lives on my own recently, and I still haven't gotten the nerve to do the bridge for a length of time on my own. And that's because it's the first place that made me go from being completely skeptical to what the hell's going on, because I heard something physically run towards me when there wasn't anything there.
Okay.
That did my head in. If you wanted to watch that, anybody or yourself, then it's the episodes in Snuff Mills are all on the channel. The best one's probably the deep dive, because it covers all of them, and then you can go, actually, do you know what? I want to watch the full thing of such and such episode, but they're all covered within that. That was really scary there.
I'll check that out.
Woodchester Mansion in the cellar, that scared me. Definitely,
You're so jammy. That's one place I've always wanted to do.
Well, if I ever book out and run an event there, I'll let you know, because I can.
Yeah,
I know the person that runs them. I'm sort of like acquainted with him, I suppose you could say. What's what we got here? Would anyone rather know? Would you rather know all about what is in the ocean, what is in space, or what is the paranormal? If you had to pick one, would you rather know about deep ocean exploration, space and aliens, or the paranormal?
Space and aliens.
I'm gonna go paranormal, simply because I think God comes under the paranormal. And if I could fundamentally prove the existence of an all-powerful being, then I'd be able to know all the other questions.
That is true.
There's my logic.
That is true.
Yeah. Ghost stories were closely related to the societal characteristics of specific era, say Jack the Ripper and the Headless Horseman. Would you think in the coming decades... Wait, what? Have I read that wrong? I'm dyslexic, so you have to excuse me. Characters are specific.
I'm dyslexic as well.
Would you think... Oh, we're screwed. That's it. We've had it. Would ghost stories entirely change as we're getting more modern, less dark places in cities, less forests and woods? How would the stories of ghost stories turn out? Okay. I think he's talking about different cultures of, like, what people would... like stories of hauntings and things like that, and do we think that they would change over time as, like, less dark places in cities, less forests, less woods? Like, over the time, would things change? I don't necessarily, for me personally, I don't necessarily mean it has to be these specifics for something to happen. I've even been to a location recently which had all the tick boxes for, yes, this place should be haunted, and not a single thing happened.
Right. Okay.
Equally, I've been to places where I've heard things and seen things in daytime, like during daytime hours. What would you say
Yeah.
to that question? If that was the question, I don't know if we answered that correctly, but if that was the question, what do you think? Like, do you think these stories would change and develop over time as we're getting into more modern times?
Do you mean as in like Chinese whispers, as in the altar that way? Is that what you mean?
It says, would stories entirely change as we're getting more modern, with less places in dark cities, less forests, less woods? How do you think ghost stories would turn out? It'd just be, I mean, things just happen.
I mean, does he? I'm wondering if he means like when people have seen, I don't know, an example like a monk walking through Manchester city centre. Is that what he means? Because the area's changed.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe is that what you mean? Like if I say, oh yeah, there's a haunting in this room, and then suddenly that room gets removed and it's no longer there, or if the woods get taken down and then a housing estate gets put there, will there still be activity? Is that what you mean? Well, will there
I
still
think
be
if that is what he
hypothetical?
means,
If that's what he means, then for me, Barrow Gurney Asylum, where there used to be an asylum, when it got knocked down, myself and other
yeah,
teammate members went there on the sort of like the brickwork that was all over the place. It was all over the place, and some stuff still happened. And now there's houses there, and without knocking on the doors, it's like, will stuff still happen in those people's houses?
yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been somewhere where you've gone back and then there isn't something there and you've still got stuff.
There has, but I can't think where. And I also think back to like, like residual hauntings where it's almost like the spirit is, like the ghost is stuck on replay.
Yeah.
Like obviously that still haunts the area, even if there's no remnants of the building there anymore, and it's just a field. It looks like they're vanishing through a door. That's obviously because they're still stuck on replay.
Yeah.
So
is
to
that
answer his question, I personally think, yeah, hauntings would stay the same.
it's interesting. It's definitely a thing to look into. The one that I always think about is, this is a bit out there, because at the moment, and this isn't confirmed, it's just like a theory within science, but they say that if the universe keeps expanding at the rate that it is, that eventually we'll all go into a deep freeze, which means that, the sun has got a finite life, so the sun will eventually burn out and the earth will become a cold, dark rock. And at that point, if ghosts are real, does that mean they're all knocking about on a cold, dark rock in a cold, dark space?
True.
Because there will be nothing. Everything will be gone.
So would that completely wipe us out then?
Yeah, everything. It'd literally just be like Mars, but completely frozen. Kind of like Europa and Jupiter. That's what every single celestial body in the universe will be once every single sun dies out. Yeah, I know it is. Or heat death, yeah. I think the most common one now is the deep freeze, though, Maltor. John, I saw a full image of a white ghost outside my window with vertical blinds obviously open. Do you think we can project that image? What, you mean with our minds? Or do you mean... How do you take that question?
The first thing that comes into my head is he saying like, is it something when your imagination runs, completely runs away? But because I've been confronted before by someone and they've said, oh, I've told them I've seen something in the distance. They're like, you're seeing things. And I'm like, but I've got 3 other people with me that saw the same thing. They reacted in the same manner. are you saying
Yeah.
that 4 people have seen or heard the same thing that isn't actually there? I know your imagination can run away, and you can probably mistake, I don't know, items of clothing hanging on your door for the Grim Reaper. Some people do, but
It's like the
I
pareidolia.
honestly don't, yeah, I honestly do not think that the human can see a full-on apparition just by using the power of them. You can see it in your head, but I don't think you can project it.
Without some sort of psychological condition, or if you're really, I know I had COVID a while back. I think it was the second time I had it, and I could see things moving about on my walls. So obviously,
Really?
if anything's altering your brain, then yes. Like if you're having brain altering drugs, then yes.
Definitely, yeah. If you're on some sort of drugs, yeah. Hallucinogenic and so
Catching
on.
stuff in the corner of your eye, I think that can happen regardless, especially when it's dark and there's something, I think it's called matrixing, when you're trying, when something's so dark and you've had light shine in and then it goes all dark and then your eyes go a bit funny and you start seeing things that aren't really there. I know that can happen as well. But I suppose that's why it's really good to have several people like witness the same thing, or have something that can record and capture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
People.
I mean, no, go on. Sorry, I interrupted you.
I was just laughing because some people are getting adverts and some people aren't, and I'm laughing because the system's not being. I don't know. I've obviously accidentally turned on too many adverts. If you watch them, it gives me money. So
that's it. That's it. You've got to keep the channel going.
Someone's asking about dolphins, but thanks for coming in, BW. But this is we're talking about paranormal at the moment, and I can't give any advice on dolphins at all. I wouldn't have a clue. How do you make them happy? Throw fish at them? I don't know.
I love dolphins. I love all animals, but I'm no good with. I'm not an expert on dolphins. I just know they make a high-pitched noise.
Yeah. What is your opinion then on? Because you did speak earlier, the UK, James. What is your opinion? And welcome in, Friday House. Good to see you. On like a sort of a skeptical approach, being that you're a firm believer. Do you get annoyed if people nitpick at things, or do you listen to people? And what I mean by that, I don't mean people just coming in and trolling and just being like, this isn't real, you're chatting rubbish. I'm talking, let's say someone comes in and says, like, let's say someone joins your episode, and said to you that REM pod that you use is not a ghost detecting device, and it's just basically a toy which makes noises and can be affected by air currents, etc., etc. Is that something that would annoy you, or would you disagree, or how would you respond to things like that?
Well, I'd obviously disagree, because if you can show them that this piece of equipment is reacting to questions, and then you stop asking questions and the REM pod isn't going off, then I think for me, that's enough evidence to point out and say, there you go. If it doesn't work or it's a toy, how come it's only doing it when questions are being asked? I don't mind skeptics at all, to be honest with you. I'm all for them. It's just the firm non-believers that I've had, when I've been talking to them. I used to work with a guy, and he's like, I think you're chatting rubbish. It's all a load of crap. You're telling me that 4 of you have seen, this XYZ, and well, yeah, I wouldn't make it up. I do it for a reason, and that's because I've had an experience.
I'm not saying necessarily you'd be making it up. It's more some people might feel that, like, I know that I'm not saying you are, but there are people out there that are uneducated in certain avenues of things. Like SLS, for example. I don't know if you use that, but I've looked into it enough to know that it is not picking up ghosts.
I've never used it. We have got one. We've never used it because, to be honest with you, and a lot of people who might watch our stuff might think, well, these are quite I'm not going to say boring, but we're old-fashioned. We are a big believer in seeing things, hearing stuff with your ears, smelling stuff that isn't there, and recording it on camcorder. It isn't about
gizmos and gadgets.
I mean, we've got REM pods, K2s, and other little bits, and we do use them. But there's teams out there that have got, and I mean, literally.
Well, it's funny. They've got heat sinking, sound seeking, laser seeking, beams in the floor, wires, the lot, but no fucking ghosts.
Exactly.
It's so funny.
By going back to basics.
Yeah.
Then we have anything else, and that's something that we're actually quite proud of, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. It's what I rely on that as well. Let me just quickly say hi to John and Shade and Big Boss. No worries, Shade, if you've got us nip off after this. Thanks for coming in anyway. Carry on.
I was just saying as well, I mean, I know a lot of spirits probably would, go and check out these devices out of curiosity, but a lot of them won't have a freaking clue what a REM pod is if they've been dead 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's the same with the EMF. It's like, I'll make it go to red. It's like, well, this is a Victorian spirit. You know what I mean? How could it possibly understand make it go to red? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
The one thing that we always do, and this is going to sound absolutely ridiculous, is we will demonstrate the equipment to the spirits. I mean, some people will just put it down and go over to that there. It'll do something, or make that light go red. Mm-hmm. We'll demonstrate the equipment. Sometimes it's before we even start filming. We'll go, this here, if we put it on the floor and you can go and touch it, it will do this for you, and we'll touch the aerial to show the spirit what it does. So we do and it sounds silly, but I think that way, for us, it has gotten us better results than not showing them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I suppose the only thing I would say is how much of it is confirmation biased. I mean, Friday. I know Friday House here doesn't agree with them. He's saying this rather particular scenario with the REM pods that you're happening without, but a lot of environmental anomalies can set them off, so they can't be held as reliable. So I mean, I suppose the best way to put it would be the next time you're out is if you're getting yes and no's, which I'm guessing it's a binary answer system you're getting off of it. That you would then say, let's say it kept going off. Let's say you then went, right, don't set it off now for the rest of the night. If then it shut up for the rest of the night, that's just another piece of confirmation that, where you've got it, it can't possibly be the environment that's around it because of where it is. Or you put it inside of a Faraday box. That way, it is only the spirit would have to go within the bounds of the Faraday box to make it go off. If I'm wrong with this, and there's someone here that can say that I'm wrong, let me know, because I don't know for sure. But these are just ideas out there that can just help aid in the evidence to suggest that it actually is communicating with the thing or the being that you're talking to. Hoddy's put, I like the theory that the moon has been positioned there to block memories of the past and forced reincarnation and keep spirits tied to Earth. Has anyone heard? I've never heard that theory, and from my knowledge of astrophysics, it would be difficult for me to understand and accept, because I sort of go by science with that sense. But I don't rule anything out, but I find it difficult to take that on board. Welcome in from India. What was you going to say?
Say something about the REM pod again. Friday night, we're starting a series called the Alton series, so it's all Alton, near Alton Towers, all the surrounding areas we're doing a series on. And Friday night we did a place called Cottondale Woods, and it's an ancient woodland with a lot of dark history, and there used to be an abbey there, and there's a lot of stuff that's gone on there. And Friday night, because it's only 15 minutes from us, but it's absolutely the best woodland we've investigated. But Friday night, we put the REM pod on the floor behind us, about, 12 foot away. and we were doing the introduction, and it was going off. So we did the introduction, and we were getting beeps on the REM pod, lighting up and all that with questions. And then towards the end of the night, I can't remember if it was Rich who had said, "Can you step away from the REM pod?" And it did not go off for the rest of that night, for the last half an hour,
Oh, so
40 minutes.
you
maybe.
have tried something similar to that then. Interesting. That's very interesting.
But that is a location. I know it's far for you, but I think in the future, if you're ever free, that is a location that will blow your mind. Honestly, it's incredible.
Let me write this down. Where is it?
It's called Cotton Dell in Staffordshire.
Down Staffordshire. Okay, I'll pop that down there in my little thingy. TE, yes, British accent from the UK. Welcome in. Friday house. It would have to be in a Faraday cage to eliminate the possibility of RF energy, magnetic energy, and other matter. A REM pod is a toy thermin, not an EMF meter. I knew that. Yes. The question is, where is it? Hang on. Ugh. I've made my own. Well, I say my dad helped me make my own. Where is it?
What REM pod?
Sort of, yeah. I personally don't know how much I trust an official REM pod, simply because it's been made by someone else. So, like, if you can see this now on the stream, this is a door alarm, which, if you come towards the aerial, it makes it go off. It's basically a motion sensor in a sense, but with a diameter around it, which, if you break that area, it will go off. And I've taken that to loads of places and it hasn't really gone off anywhere. And then occasionally it does. And when it does freak me out. But if you're getting cause and effect and some sort of pattern for answering questions and then saying, well, move away from it now, and then it stops, and you can get that to happen a lot, then that's definitely something bizarre. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a ghost.
Oh, God, yeah, totally agree.
But it definitely is an interesting find. I don't know what anyone else thinks.
Friday night was probably our biggest ever results on the REM pod. It will go off in locations only once or twice. But Friday night, we had that running. And I'm a bit funny when I say this. I'm not saying I believe it, but Nadine, who's in the team, she always puts the Spirit Talker app on. So have you heard of that?
Yeah, I don't trust those at all, if I'm honest with you.
Well, we don't. Well, I say we. I don't normally. But I will be deadly honest, and my missus as well, she is like one of them that will try and rule everything out. She's a believer. But the words that were coming through, everything had not just a basic link, but a very, very, very strong link to Cottondale Woods and the area itself is in Cotton College. So down from the woods, you've got a derelict place called Cotton College that was built in 16 Summit. It's now derelict. A lot of dark history of abuse from priests and nuns to young boys. And a lot of the stuff that came through on that Spirit Talk, it actually...
The only thing that I could possibly think of, and this is a really long shot thing, because I know a very little amount about coding, but I know a lot of people that do know coding. I know a lot of people that looked into like the code, the open source code, and some people have even done reverse engineering on the apps. And I know that are some of them listen to you, and if you go say hello, it will hear you say hello, and then the AI in it will find the word hello, and then it will say the word hello. But there's others out there which, if you're connected to the internet and you have you have to enable location services, it will know where you are, and it brings stuff up based on where you are. If there's anything online, history-wise, with that location, it will pop up into that app. It's a new feature that they're utilizing with AI and these apps. Another thing I also take into account is if the apps were genuinely just playing random words and then they didn't do anything, then they wouldn't sell very well. so there's an incentive to make money, which for me
The one
always
thing-
makes it feel a bit questionable.
The one thing I am going to say about the second point you mentioned, and this is Bible now, hand on Bible, gospel truth, and I can get Nadine in maybe another time to confirm this, but because we were talking this morning, me and Nadine were speaking on the phone, and we were like, I can't believe the spirit talker, and she was like, I know. And the thing is with Nadine, she's always got two phones. She has one to record with, and then the one with the Spirit Talker app on. Now, the one with the Spirit Talker app actually hasn't got a SIM card in, and it's not connected to any internet at all. She just purely uses it for these apps. So that was one of the things that was mentioned. I wonder if it can tap into your location XYZ.
Yeah, they can.
She,
they can.
Yeah. And she was like, well, there's no SIM card in this anyways, and it's not used as a phone. It's just literally for apps. So that was another thing that made me think it is a step closer for the answers on the app to be more believable, because there were words that came through that were just...
I'd have to... I mean, I can't fully say unless I downloaded it and tested it myself and looked into it myself to verify and do the findings. I can't sit here and outright go, that's nonsense, without doing it. To answer like Snape's question earlier, like, is there anything I don't go by? It mainly is apps, or anything that's uses electrical, like yourself, you were saying earlier, you prefer to do things where you're just working off of your main senses and what you capture on camera. I like a service bell. Take a basic service bell. A basic bell where if you go ding, it will go off. Nothing dodgy about it. Just a simple bell. Because if something can make a REM pod go blah, blah, blah by getting near it, it can also make a bell go ding. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
What's that? Friday saying, also, not all REM pods are built the same. The circuits are constructed differently. Yeah, that's why, Friday, I basically wanted my own made. There's the sensor. It's an old door. You get one like hotels, so like an alarm thing, and you adapt it into a sensor. I don't know my dad used to do like electrics and stuff, like when he was in the Navy, so he knew all of that, and he sort of put it together for me. But yeah, it is basically a type of theremin. Most of the apps use changes in the sensors in the phone device as triggers to display an interaction. Download a sensor display app and see how much they change just sitting alone. So most of the apps, download a sensor display app and see how much it changes when you're just sitting alone as a test. I think that's what he's trying to say there.
Right, okay, yeah. Like I say, we're not one of them that will say everything is 100% paranormal, but what was happening Friday was just... Because Cotton itself, the village, is... You could probably throw a stone from one end of Cotton Village and it'd land at the other end. That's how small it is. Like, it's only well known to people that are within the area. And the history there is not to be forgotten about. It's got some dark history, but like I say, some of the responses...
Did you, prior to going there, did anybody research or anything using the phone with the app on?
No, only me. So it literally only me, and I haven't got any spirit apps on my phone. Nadine is the only person with an app on her phone.
I'm just trying to think of everything here that could possibly do. I already know that for people here, right, that I'm pretty darn sure now this has been a proven thing that your phones constantly listen to you. So
they do.
You'll start talking about like dog food. Next thing you know, you've got adverts for dog food.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, 100%. I do agree with you.
So when it comes to anything, apps and stuff like that, I'm just like, I just don't know about that.
Yeah, I feel the same as you. I do. I mean, but like I say, Friday was just, it was a different ball game of investigating. It's probably been our most successful regarding evidence. I'm still actually quite blown away with not just the REM pod and that and the spirit talker, but there was stuff that happened that just can't be explained. I mean,
there's a good one to do, right? Is forget the location. So I'm going to put this out there, and anybody can object to this, but I personally think this is a really good idea. Okay?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if anything you got, even the spirit boxes, like I use the spirit box when I go live and stuff like that. This would be difficult to do whilst live, whilst holding this, whilst doing that, whilst getting that, so I can understand if you're doing it in a live environment, you've got a lot of things going on, and sometimes it's good just to use it. A lot of people like the spirit box, so I get that as well. But with things where you've actually got time to set things up, let's say you've made a home base in a location, right? We're setting up here. We're going to investigate this spot. Get a playing card, deck of cards, right?
Yeah.
Randomly go through, pull one of them out that you can't even see, right?
Yeah.
Don't show anyone else. Show everything around you in the area, and then place it face down somewhere. And then the only question you ask is, if there's something here, what is that card? And if that app says Queen of Hearts, foolproof. In my opinion, that's foolproof.
That is a good idea.
You could do it up to 3 times if you want a full blind test. You could do it about 3 times. There's no way.
We have done something very similar to that before, where, we said we were getting some strong knocks to questions in this. I can't remember. It was a derelict building. I think actually it might have been called, and it's not far from us, Cliff Park Hall. It's like a derelict mansion, and we did say, prove you are here. If you are here, can you tell us or knock how many of us are in this room with you now? Can you either knock how many there is of us, or can you say it and manipulate this device? And I think it was only something like 20 to 30 seconds later, it came through and said 4, and there were 4 of us. So coincidence? I don't know, but it was one of them where it was like the timing was just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, if you go how many people are here, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got 4 knocks following that, to me that is some sort of intelligent response from something that is clearly understanding English. I have been in houses myself. It's very rare that this happens, and I think it's only ever happened maybe in 2 or 3 places, but mainly a particular house that I went to, a resident house, and I knocks on the door, and I went, copy me, and I 2 knocks, and then above me 2 knocks. It was just like really, really weird, and I've not been able to answer that. And to me, intelligent response like that, when it's a physical knocking in an area and you've got everybody accounted for, so someone isn't just pulling your leg.
Yeah, definitely.
Then there's nothing else you can really say. Even if it wasn't like, oh, can you knock 3 times? Even if it does 2 knocks, that's still 2 knocks from something where no one's done it. Which is more evidence. That's what I call physical evidence. So, I prefer physical evidence to technological evidence. That's why. So some of the audience will like watching the REM pod go off, so I can understand why yourself and other people will do it. Same with spirit boxes. Everybody loves a good spirit box and hearing words come through.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have stuff happen and you stood there, your jaw's hitting the floor, like whether you're getting bangs, knocks, doors slamming upstairs or wherever you may be. And we've actually been that gobsmacked that we've had to say, we're going to have to do another sweep of this building to make sure there's no one here, because I'm not having that is paranormal.
Yeah.
And we've done another sweep, and it's in a location where there's only one way in and one way out, and there's nobody, and you just go cold, because you're like, that has got to be paranormal, especially when it's on, like,
Do you want
a
to...
summer's night.
I'm going to anyone that's here and yourself, a little thing you can do, okay? If there's only one way in and one way out, or two ways in and two ways out, grab yourself portable alarms like this and put them in at the entrances. Because once you're in and you've checked that area fully, you'll know if someone else comes in because that bugger will go off.
Well, going back to Cliff Parkour, that's something you should check out. It's absolutely terrifying. That was a one way in, one way out job. And you go in through the kitchen window, and it is a mansion. It's massive. It's like a mini castle. So we went through the kitchen, cut through the corridor, got to the grand staircase, and then turned right. And the man who lived there, the old man, he lived there. He had Knight's armor. He had Saddam Hussein's sword as a he had a lot of stuff. He was basically an old man, and he was tied up and beaten and robbed by a load of Eastern Europeans. And he passed away a few months later in hospital, and it's been derelict since then. So yeah, we were in his bedroom, big solid oak 4-poster bed, and this noise it traumatized me for weeks. Actually, it filled the whole mansion. This high pitch sounded like a scream, and we found out it was something called a master blaster alarm.
Okay.
Actually, I think they're illegal to have indoors because they did make I'm not even kidding. It gave us headaches because it was that loud and intense. But the master blaster is situated in the corridor, and that goes off within a few seconds of it triggering you.
Yeah.
So that took about 30 minutes for it to go off after we'd passed through the corridor. So we went back a few weeks later with 2 extra people who also do it. They're a couple. And Chrissy used to be an ex-policewoman, and her other half, Lance, he's a nut job, so he's not bothered by anything. So we went back, and I said, the master blaster is in this corridor. So we stepped into the corridor, and it went off. So we were prepared this time. So there was 6 of us instead of 4. So we stepped out the corridor after it had finished, stepped back in, it went off, said, right, it definitely works. It definitely works on motion. So we went and investigated in through the mansion. It didn't go off for the rest of the night because we avoided that corridor. Then called the investigation. We'd had enough.
Called a night.
Yeah. So we went through the corridor. It went off again. Climbed through the window, and we stood outside the window for 10 minutes, had a cigarette, and no more master blaster. So
it just stopped.
We walked. Yeah, so it stopped. So we walked around from the back of the mansion to the car. Next thing, we were all talking about the night. The master blaster goes off 20 minutes after we got outside, and I was like, "Well,
it's weird."
Is proof of the paranormal? Is there something wandering the corridors? I mean, it did freak us all out because everyone was outside. We were all accounted for.
Friday's saying the sensors, motion sensors, you should use a PIR and infrared sensor to match it up with ultrasonic and capacitive detectors to cover all bases. Like what would people even what would people here even suggest using? Like for those of you that are here, what do you consider to be an actual piece of equipment that would be a scientific piece of equipment, other than what Friday House is saying here, to scientifically try to determine what this thing is? Because the problem with the whole paranormal realm is it's really sporadic. It doesn't really match any patterns. And when you think you figured something out and you think, oh, let's look into this, it's not. Like EMFs now, everybody's like, oh, don't trust an EMF, don't trust an EMF. But I'm still going, well, what happens if the spirit, entity, demon, whatever you want to call it, is emitting an electromagnetic field, or when it's drawing energy, it then shows an electromagnetic field? Not that it is made of electromagnetic field, because surely if it's doing something within the bounds of our universe, it has to be using the physics of the universe. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Like, so what do you feel, other than outside of that, like, area, what do you feel might be a scientific approach? Have you ever taken a scientific approach, or is it always just been wing it in the moment sort of ideology? I do a lot of wing it in the moment, to be fair.
We do wing it quite a lot. I mean, one of ours, what we do a lot is we don't investigate cities and stuff, and graveyards in the middle of cities and derelict buildings in the middle of cities. We've always done rural paranormal investigations, so we're always out in the countryside, or the nearest thing to us would be a really small village. So
Yeah.
the benefit for us is, if we're doing a lot of, I don't know, medieval graveyards, or ancient woodlands, derelict churches we've done smack bang in the middle of nowhere, and
Yeah.
places like that. For us, we always say we can definitely rule out 9 times out of 10 real people, noise pollution, car noise pollution. The only thing we're normally left with is either wildlife noise, or it's surely got to be paranormal. Whereas if you're in the middle of a busy city, I don't know, derelict hotel, a lot of the time the noises you might be getting may be people on the streets. And we did a derelict hotel in Congleton. It's not derelict anymore. And there was weird stuff going on the inside, but a lot of the noises we were hearing were due to cars and people outside. So that's why we've always stuck to rural areas.
So
do you know what I mean?
You don't get the contamination. I know exactly what I mean, because I did a pub in Bath, a bar in Bath,
yeah.
And all I could hear was noise outside of people, like, in the streets and stuff. It's just really annoying. So I 100% get what you're saying.
Yeah, it is. There's another place we've always got good results, and that might be another one you might be interested in if you ever want to. It's called Earwood Hall, and it's in Goit Valley, and it's the ruins of an old mansion that was lived in by a really rich family. And that's smack bang in the middle of the woods near a reservoir. And that's, do you know Buxton? You've heard of Buxton?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the way to Buxton, but it's in Goit Valley. So you're surrounded by the moors and woodlands. And that for us is another amazing place, because you don't get any noise pollution from traffic or people. The only thing you get there is the sound of planes, wildlife.
So how often do you have something and then go check it? Friday's obviously saying, are you doing ghost hunting, which is just, for the fun, looking for ghosts and stuff like that? Or are you doing investigations where if something happens, are you then looking into that something to see if there's any probable causes? Which I can understand when you're doing a video for YouTube. People might not want to see you always wandering around looking under every single nook and cranny, because you might end up missing something else. So that can also be an issue, which I found, by the way. You end up getting very pedantic about this here, and then the next thing you know, that over there goes flying across the room, and now you've missed it because you're paying attention to this.
Exactly, yeah.
So where do you, are you like 50-50 or not at all?
I think most of ours is based on investigations. So we do a lot of like reading up on history of places. Even though we know the history, there's always something else you're going to find out. So when we get to them locations, we will call out specific names. Sometimes we will use trigger objects that might be related to that area or that individual. If there is a noise, quite a lot of the time we have tried to investigate it. I don't know, example, we did a village hall that used to be a school in the 1800s, and that was in the middle of this tiny little village. there was a loud bang in the kitchen. We went in and we were picking up different items to see. Yeah, to see. So most of what we do is reading up on history, diving really deep into the history of the places and investigating on that side of things. So yeah, it's more of an investigation, but I also personally love the thrill of stuff happening, because it's like not just for a buzz, it's excitement. And if you're getting that on camera, you're then showing people that there is potentially life after death. You're hoping to prove
potentially
full-on non-believers. You're hoping
yeah. Is that your? I'm guessing your perception of what you do then is to try and prove that there's life after death, that it is a ghost. Is that what you're saying? From your point of view?
I mean, I have. Well, I wouldn't say I have, but two people who were firm non-believers, who I know are now firm believers. And that's been due to being taken to a place with us, and stuff's happened where they've gone, you know what? Okay, I do think there's something after we go.
Okay.
So yeah, I do like trying to. I don't force it down people's throats. I'm not one of them. I'm not ignorant and disrespectful, but I do like the thrill of where you've got someone who's a non-believer or a firm skeptic, and they're like, okay, I can't answer that.
I'm in a weird position where, like, if I did something with you and then I witnessed the same things, I'm so adamant on trying to figure it out, because I'm a figure out kind of person. Like, I took a bloody what do you call it, a generator apart once, because I just wanted to see how it worked. So if I see something incredible happen, I want to know how that incredible thing did happen, but I don't want to just jump to conclusions. And I think with me going from a very skeptical point of view and a very scientific mind, it's hard for me to just say, okay, yeah, that's definitely now evidence of life after death, because there's this concept called the gap of the gods, which basically means that you're bringing in a supernatural force to explain something that you can't quite understand. A lot of people do it now with aliens. They go, there was a thing in the sky, I didn't know what it was. Oh, it must be an alien. But they've just said in their sentence they don't know what it is. But then they've gone, well, it must be an alien. So for me, I just go, okay, that's happened. That thing's flown across the room, but I don't know how or why, because I don't want to be in a position in like 35 years time, there's a massive scientific discovery and there's me going, it's a ghost. And then they go, yeah, it's actually some sort of like quantum entanglement leap within a third dimensional, fourth dimensional mismatched travel. I just made that shit up, by the way, but imagine that was the answer.
I know exactly where you're coming from. I mean, I've always said a scientist can come to me and say, there is no paranormal, there is no life after death, and I will stand my ground and I will say, that's you as a scientist, okay, you're a scientist, you say that is fact. I say, from my personal beliefs, and not just beliefs but experiences, I think there's something after. I mean, there is more stories that I can't explain, and
we could be here like probably all to the rest of the night till the end of the day.
Get your head around this one. This one that is always something that's thrown me. Where I work at a school, so I do maintenance at a school, and it's a very old building. It used to be.
Hang on a second before you do that. Thank you for the £2. I think there might be an auto mod on at the moment that's muting people. I did have a lot of trolls in not long ago, so I think I turned my auto mod on as well. Unless somebody else muted you, I don't know. They would have to answer the question for that. Try not to say the same thing too many times as well, because that can also trigger it. But if you didn't do anything wrong, apologies for that. I will look into it. Carry on.
Strange. So yeah, I work at this school in Staffordshire. Very old. It's like it's a stately owned, big old sandstone building, and it does not look like a school. But
Okay.
Christ Almighty, you know, that place has turned non-believers into believers, like teachers and stuff. The stuff that has happened there is absolutely just. I'll tell you one of them in a minute.
Oh, hang
Because
on.
Go on.
My ears are being someone gifted sent 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much for that. I'm very much appreciated. It just blew up my ears. So whilst you were talking, it went and it blew up my ears. So I didn't hear anything you said. I heard school followed by a lot of and my ears just died on me. Sorry to anyone else that just had their eardrums blown off, but thank you so much for the gifted memberships. It's very much appreciated. You said school. Carry on.
So yeah, the school where I work, you wouldn't think it was a school looking at it. It looks like fucking Hogwarts. It is so old,
Yeah.
a lot of history, and it's set back at the posher end of town, behind a load of trees and stuff. So that place has turned people, mainly teachers who work there, from non-believers into believers. Like that place, I hate locking up on my own at night. It is absolutely horrible. I remember one night my supervisor phoned me at 9 o'clock. He was like, "Are you all right if I pick you up?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." He's like, "We've had a zone, I think it's a zone 3 call out, which is a break-in."
Okay.
And I was
Quite
like,
serious,
right.
then.
Yeah, I thought.
So you're
great.
nervous anyway,
So,
going into that, thinking, "Oh, what am I going to come across here? Like, who's going to be
That's it.
here? Am I going to get stabbed? You know, that sort of thing."
Well, that's it. And I'm normally 9 times out of 10, if it is, it's going to be former students or students that currently go there, because some of them are, pardon my French, little shits. But this one night we rocked up and we went in.
Yeah.
Unlocked the door, went in, the alarm's going nuts. So we turned the alarm off. It was like, right, we'll do a sweep of the ground floor, go up to the second floor, then the top floor is what we call the attics. So we went and covered everywhere, absolutely bricking it. Didn't hear anything. There was no sign of any break-in anywhere, no windows, nothing. So we were like, we phoned our line manager and we're like, "We've done a full check. There is nothing." They were like, "Right, well, put the alarm back on, get yourselves back off home." So we went into the back office just before we put the alarm on, down the corridor. There was somebody whistling a tune. So I looked at my supervisor and he went even more pale than he already is, because he's ginger. So he's quite pale anyway.
Sorry to all the gingers currently watching. Carry on.
Yes, it's all the gingers. But all the colour ran from my face. So I phoned my supervisor, the line manager. I said, there's someone in the building, we can hear whistling. He says, "Put the phone down." He says, "Phone 999, because they're either nuts or they are just trying to wind you up." So we phoned 999, because obviously at that point you're thinking there is someone in the building with you right now. So police arrived within 3 or 4 minutes. It was a policeman and policewoman. They came in. As they came in through the door, because we met them on the car park, they did hear the tail end of a whistle. So we walked all around the bottom floor with them. We locked the big old oak door behind us.
So the police heard this as
out.
well?
Oh, yeah.
So
It gets weird.
There's an official police report of a whistle in a building where no one's whistling. Right.
And it gets weirder and weirder, and you will not believe, I promise you now, hand on heart, this is all true. So we did the bottom floor, nothing. Went up to the middle floor where there's offices, staff room, and more classrooms. And you've got to bear in mind, this is all solid oak floorboards. It's still original all the way through from when it was a manor house, pretty much.
Yeah.
Got to the middle floor, and up to the attics, there's one staircase up, and it's the same one to get back down.
Right.
We stop dead on the middle floor, and the female copper, she grabs my arm and she goes, "What the fuck is that?" They're upstairs. I said, "Yeah." So above us in the attics on the oak corridor, all you could hear above us was bang, 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 footsteps going along, making its way along the corridor above. So the coppers, they legged it up the staircase. Me and Alistair, that's my supervisor, we were waiting in the corridor with just a torch on. I was like, they've got him, haven't they? They've got him. The female copper and the male copper came back down 5 minutes later. Pale. I was like, what? Anyone? They were like, no. I was like, you are fucking kidding. They were like, no, I swear, there was nobody up there. And the copper said, the male copper said, I am not leaving until I've made an arrest. He says, but can I ask you something? I says, yeah. He says, is this place haunted?
So this is a question of a official police.
And I can get my supervisor to tell this story, and it would be a carbon copy of what I'm telling you.
Okay.
And I said, it's got a strong reputation for being haunted, yeah. Because the stories of why it's haunted. Anyway, so they were like gobsmacked. They were stood there staring at us, and he looked at me and he said, I'll be honest, this is our first ever paranormal call out, and laughed. I said, we didn't call you out because we thought it was a ghost. We genuinely thought there was someone in the, yeah. So we went back downstairs and they wanted to do one more sweep. So we were in one of the history classrooms.
Yeah.
And the big old velvet curtains at the front and this big arched window. We pulled them open so we could see all the front lawn and everything and all the trees. And as we turned round, well, the male copper was one of the ones that turned round first, and we were turning round just after. There was the sound of something hitting the desk and then a floor. And he says, you've got to be kidding me. I says, what? He says, there was a pen lid that I've just seen in the corner of my eye, and as I turned, I saw it full vision. It came across the classroom and landed on a desk, and he said he caught it on his body cam.
Wow. Right, okay. There's so much to unpack here. How is this, like, did it not make the newspapers? Like, did it not, how?
No. I promise you now, I came home and I couldn't speak. I said, because I said to my supervisor, I said, are we going to get in trouble? Because there is no one here, and it was a 999 call.
Yeah.
And I said that to the cops. I said, listen, are we in trouble? And they were like, they were ever so nice. They were like, no. They said, if you genuinely thought there was someone in the building, which Alistair, like I say, my supervisor, he went milk white. And
no. It's still because you don't know who's there. That, you know, it's not going to be a false report. Like, even if the amount of people that probably call 999 thinking there's something going on, and it turns out that there's just like a rat moving about in their attic or something like that. You know what I mean? You're not going to get told off for it. But the fact that the police had a report of witness, because they would have had to make a report on that. By the way, hello, Admit. Good to see you in. They would have had to have made an actual report to say why they went out, what they found, and what happened. So somewhere, how long ago was this?
This was, let me think. I want to say maybe around early 2024, end of 2023.
Okay, there's a possibility it might not be on file still, but I know that they do keep files. And as for the body cam footage, you could have technically, because the body cam footage was on and you were there, you could have technically, you probably won't be able to do it anymore, but at the time you could have asked for that copy of that body cam footage because of DDD, what's it called? The thing where if you're on camera, you can request that footage.
Yeah.
A public access request, I think it's called, which would have been really, I'd have liked to have seen how any debunking people that go, that's fake. when I want to put a line between people that are debunkers who are looking for genuine reasons to try and figure out why things are done and clearly calling out fakers, and then there's people which are just trolling and saying you're fake, because there's two
Yeah.
types out there. I had one the other day actually, to be fair, but let's not go into that. But something like that from a police body cam of seeing something go across the room, because they can't.
I promise you now. I tell you what, my partner has just come in. She's just come in. I'm not gonna say nothing now. Did you hear any of that? Just what we were speaking about.
I heard the door.
Right. So, can you remember when me and Alistair had an alarm call out at Westwood College?
Yeah.
What happened? Regarding the police, what happened?
Didn't. I know that there was nobody in the building when the police turned up, but the police did experience like really loud footsteps, and they searched everywhere, and something was thrown at them as well.
There you go.
Was that everything?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying I don't believe the accounts.
No. I just wanted to confirm it because to a lot of people they were like, "What a load of bullshit." And to be fair, we worked with there was me, Alistair, and another guy called Steve, and he was in his early 60s, non-believer. Let me tell you. So we told him about this the day after, and he just laughed at us. That's what he was like. He laughed his head off. He was like, "You're all off your heads." Anyway, so I said, "So didn't you believe in absolutely anything, Steve? Like nothing at all?" He was like, "Nothing." He says, "It's a load of crap." That's how he was. Straight John Bull. He was old school. Anyway, fast forward a few days. I was on earlies that week. Steve was on lockups.
Was that by request? Did you go, "I'm not doing a night yet. I'll do the earlies"? Was that a request?
Luckily, that week I was on open up, so I was quite relieved. But Steve was on the lockups, and Alistair said to me a few days later, he says, "Go and ask Steve what happened to him last night on lockup." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Go and ask him." So I said to Steve, "I've got to ask you something. Did something happen last night while you were locking up?" He says, "Yes, it effing did." I says, "What?" He says, "He was on the middle floor, and Steve was a bit of a perfectionist when it come to locking up. He would go and shut classroom doors. I didn't give a toss. Classroom doors open, it doesn't really matter if the building's locked." So he got to this office. He says he pulled the door to, and he said that the door from the other side, so from inside the office, he said it felt like something had gotten hold of the door handle from the inside. And he says it ripped the door out of his hands. He says the force that the door handle come away from his hand, he says it absolutely terrified him.
Has anyone ever done a proper investigation in this place?
Unofficially, yes. Because obviously with me being able to lock up and open up, I've got keys. So me and the team, there's only 4 of us. We have done it a couple of times. I mean, it is risky because I could get in trouble, a lot of trouble. But as an official ghost hunt, no. But
yeah, I mean, I think if you were to film it, you'd probably get a bit of a
that's it. The one thing that is on the page somewhere, I don't know where, but it's only a short clip. It's actually on the video part, though.
Do you have a body cam?
No, unfortunately, no. Okay, but that is something.
I'd get yourself one. If you want a recommendation, get one called a Boblov. They can film in night shots.
Boblov. Well.
Yeah, Boblov. It lasts the whole night as well. It's really good.
Do you know what? Actually, I might actually see if we can get in touch with the 2 coppers somehow, and see if we can record them on video for an interview for the page.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Happened.
The police aren't allowed to lie in their reports like that. So the only other time I've ever heard of that happening is with I mean, say what you want about the Enfield haunting, about, yeah, it was fake, the kids were faking it, and Morris was drawn in by it. There was a moment where the police turn up and they've got a report of, I think it's a cupboard or something going across the room, and that's indisputable. You can't say, oh, they lied, because they're not allowed to. At least I don't think they are.
Well, they're going to take an oath, aren't they?
This live will be archived in the live section. Yes, it will. So if you did want to leave any comments or rewatch it, feel free. Dave is completely right with that. Friday House, not particularly a debunker, but looks into equipment. Yeah, and electronics. It's always good to have somebody like that understands a little bit more. If you know anybody when you're doing stuff, if somebody's a bit of a brain box in electrics or anything for that matter, if you've got evidence of something, put it past them and then be like, look, is this something that can be explained? I try to do that all the time. Although I will say, on the record, when I'm in the environment of something scary, especially if I'm on my own, if something happens, my first thought is, that's a demon, I'm going to be taken to another dimension, I'm going to leg it now. It's not till I get home and I'm cozy and warm that I go, hang on a minute, it's probably just a bird. Right? That's just what happens.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I say.
Thank you, Friday. It's very much appreciated. Appreciate
that. No, everything I've just told you is hand on the Bible truth. I mean, yeah, it was absolutely horrendous. It was embarrassing at the same time because there was no one in the building.
Yeah,
I wish there was someone in the building.
Because then you would have had an explanation. Someone's asking who you are. So this is Nick from Beyond the Realm Paranormal. If you want to go see his stuff, it's very raw to the bone, like very, very raw. If you like stuff which is like almost, I would say, almost found footage, you expect that at the end of your episodes the camera's going to drop and you're going to be dragged off down the hallway, right? It's that raw. Does that make sense? I think it does.
Yeah, I mean, my favourite film's the Blair Witch Project anyway, so that was probably one of the things we based just keeping it raw and real on, even though the Blair Witch isn't real, but they sold it to you as, you know, this found footage. But yeah, we it's just what you see is what you get sort of attitude. There's no beating around the bush, and if someone falls over on the episode, unfortunately, that is staying in the episode.
Oh, that would stay in even on mine because I'd think it's hilarious.
You've got to have a laugh while doing it, though, haven't you?
I'll pop your thingy into the chat so people, if they want to, go over and check out some of your more raw-looking stuff, if that's what they prefer to watch rather than anything else, then they can go have a little look, and if they want to watch it, they can, and yeah, it's up to them. Like I say, I never force anybody to do anything. It's always up to whatever people want to do. So we're going to start wrapping up now. It's been an hour and a half. If anyone's got any burning questions before we head off that you want to either ask myself, hang on.
Bless you.
Excuse me. If you want to ask myself or Jesus, I've got a demon inside of me. Yeah, just ask away before I have a sneezing fit. Bless me, I did the spectacles
Squeeze the demon out. I will message you on Discord after, and I will tell you the name of the place where I work so you can have a look on Google for yourself. I just don't want to put it out there because it is a school. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, that's
so
perfectly fine.
You can have a look for yourself and see how big and old it is. But the main story is a woman fell off a horse when she was trying to escape or something from back when it was a stately home, and she fell off the horse and broke her neck. So, yeah.
Tammy's asking what's the scariest thing that's ever happened. I think you answered that vaguely earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, that was at Narradale Farm when it sounded like something was kicking the crap out the doors upstairs. It was just a no-go for me.
Is that one on your episode list as well, Nara? Have you got that?
I think it's called The Farmhouse of Terror.
The Farmhouse of Terror.
I know when we got inside before we started filming that there was a lot of banging happening, and then there is a part on the episode where there is an almighty crash upstairs, and I slam the door to upstairs shut, and that's when we leave. But yeah, it's there somewhere.
You've just been taking out. Timeout should only be 5 minutes. It's been about 20-25 minutes since you got timed out. I'll have to look into that if it's been 25-minute timeout. So, yeah, if anyone wants to go check out any of that stuff, what you're talking about there on the channel, then head over. The link I have pinned, so you want to go check that out. Follow the link in the comments for the pinned comment then. And I thank everybody that's been here. I thank you, Nick, for joining this evening and talking about all your experiences and going into all the ins and outs. So appreciated for that, and everybody that's been here, that's been in asking questions and enjoyed watching this. So thank you very much for coming in. Please, as always, subscribe, like, and share to myself, Wanted the Truth, and over through to Nick as well. I'm sure he will appreciate that if you wanted to watch his stuff as well. Until next time, thank you for watching. And if I don't see you again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the demons bite. Namaste.